What if there existed a document, not just ancient, but eternal? A text older than pyramids, predating Babylon and Sumer. A tablet not made of paper or scroll, but of a mysterious green firestone said to be indestructible and encrypted with the wisdom of gods. This isn't a myth. This is the legend of the Emerald Tablets. Carved with glowing glyphs and sealed within the shadows of time, these tablets are said to contain the true laws of the universe. Laws not taught in schools or whispered in modern temples, but encoded in riddles, symbols, and cosmic metaphors passed down through secret orders and initiates of the great work. They are attributed to Thoth the Atlantean, a being worshipped by the ancient Egyptians as the god of wisdom, time, and magic. Yet some claim Thoth was not a god, but a being from beyond the stars, a messenger of divine knowledge from a lost world swallowed by the oceans of history. So why have you never been told the full story? Why has this knowledge, this sacred technology for transcending death, mastering reality, and awakening the divine spark within been buried beneath layers of distortion, secrecy, and silence? Tonight, we pierce that veil. In this video, we will journey into the hidden truth of the Emerald Tablets, not as scholars picking apart old texts, but as seekers walking the bridge between the visible and the invisible. We'll explore the origin of these mystical writings, the mysterious figure of Thoth, and the teachings that hint at forgotten science's soul, alchemy, dimensional travel, and the mechanics of consciousness itself. And most importantly, we'll ask, what does it all mean for you? Because this isn't just ancient theory, it's a living initiation, one that calls to those ready to remember who they truly are and why they came here. So stay close, keep your heart open, and your mind alert. The tablets are whispering again, and the message is for those who are ready to listen. The origins of the Emerald Tablets are as elusive as the knowledge they contain. Like ghostly footprints in shifting sands, their trail winds through the ruins of empires, whispered by mystics, magicians, and secret societies but never firmly grasped. The most enduring legend links the tablets to Thoth, also known in the Greco-Roman world as Hermes Trismegistus, Hermes the Thrice Great, a name that echoes across Hermetic philosophy. But Thoth was not merely a mythical scribe of Egyptian lore. According to ancient initiates, he was a being of immense wisdom, a time walker, a master of reality who lived through the rise and fall of Atlantis and seeded his teachings in Egypt after its destruction. He is said to have encoded the laws of matter, spirit, and time onto indestructible green tablets, a symbol of eternal knowledge. Some traditions describe these tablets as physical objects hidden deep within a secret chamber beneath the Great Pyramid of Giza. Others suggest they exist in a higher vibrational plane, accessible only to those who've undergone deep spiritual purification. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantean, as they are most commonly known today, are not to be confused with the shorter, more commonly cited Emerald Tablet of Hermes, containing the famous line, "As above, so below." That single tablet was revered by medieval alchemists and Renaissance philosophers. But the text we're exploring today is far more expansive, esoteric, and dangerous in its implications. Why dangerous? Because it challenges the foundations of material reality. It speaks of vibrational hierarchies, the layers of human consciousness, the illusion of death, and the art of transmutation, not of metals, but of the soul itself. It tells us that the universe is mental, held together by frequencies and intention. That energy, when properly mastered, bends to will. That the body is a vessel, a temporary robe, and the soul is eternal, designed to evolve through cycles of incarnation, awakening, and return. But perhaps most threatening of all, it tells us we are not victims of fate, but creators, gods in the making, asleep inside the dream of form. This is not knowledge for the masses. For centuries, Only the initiates of the mystery schools from ancient Egypt, to the Hermeticists of Alexandria, to the Rosicrucians and Freemasons, were granted access to fragments of this wisdom. It was guarded, veiled in allegory, encoded in symbols, and passed down only when the student was ready. Because misuse of this knowledge could lead to tyranny, manipulation, and spiritual stagnation. And perhaps that's exactly what happened. As material empires rose, the inner mysteries were cast into darkness. Science replaced gnosis. Religion replaced direct experience. The tablets, once beacons of remembrance, were dismissed as myth or locked away as heresy. But now, in the age of awakening, they are re-emerging, not in dusty libraries, but in dreams, synchronicities, and the quiet longing within many to remember something ancient, something lost. And that's where we now turn to the messages encoded within these sacred texts. What are the teachings of Thoth? What truths have been hidden in plain sight? And how do they apply to us today, in this moment? Let's begin decoding. The Emerald Tablets do not read like ordinary scripture. They are not stories, nor commandments, nor prophecies in the traditional sense. Instead, they are riddles of poetic encryptions of a higher dimension. Each line seems to shimmer with layered meaning. At first glance, they appear to speak of gods, stars, and strange machines. But beneath the surface, they unveil an ancient technology of consciousness. Let us begin with one of the most striking revelations from the tablets. Man is in the process of changing to forms that are not of this world. Thoth reveals that humanity is not static, it is evolving, not just biologically but energetically. Each of us is a multidimensional being, trapped voluntarily or otherwise within a dense, limited plane. The Emerald Tablets describe how our consciousness, over lifetimes, ascends in frequency until we are no longer bound by matter, time, or death itself. This is not a metaphor. It is the alchemical formula of spiritual transmutation from lead to gold, from body to light. And it begins with awareness. Thoth teaches that everything in the universe is vibration. That includes thought, emotion, matter, and even time. To master reality, one must first master one's own vibrational state. He writes, "He who would follow the path of wisdom must be free from the bondage of night." Night, in this case, is not the absence of sunlight. It is the veil of forgetfulness, the illusion that we are only flesh and bone, that death is the end, that we are victims of circumstance. To awaken, according to the tablets, is to remember the divine flame within you, a flame that cannot be extinguished. Thoth calls it the light within all men, and claims it is the very essence of source buried, but waiting. He offers techniques too, though cryptic in nature, methods of stilling the body, focusing the mind, aligning with the rhythms of the universe. He speaks of geometry, cycles, and celestial alignments, all of which act as gateways to unlock deeper states of perception. One of the most fascinating passages describes the existence of interdimensional beings, the so-called Dark Brothers, who manipulate and feed off human ignorance and fear. Thoth warns, "They walk in the shadow but live not in the light. Seek not their presence, for they are of the darkness." Yet he doesn't simply warn, he empowers. He claims that by vibrating at a higher frequency, one becomes invisible to these forces. That darkness cannot hold what is rooted in light. This echoes ancient teachings across the globe. From Tibetan Dzogchen to Gnostic Gospels to the Vedic Upanishads, the message is the same. Fear is the illusion of the separated mind. Light is the truth of the awakened soul. But the tablets don't just focus on cosmic drama. They speak intimately of the individual path, the inner journey. Thoth describes the halls of Amenti, a mysterious dimension beneath the earth where time stands still, and souls go to heal, remember, and prepare for rebirth. Whether literal or symbolic, this realm represents the unconscious, the forgotten storehouse of memory, karma, and latent power. And he offers a riddle. Deep in the earth's heart lie the halls of Amenti, beneath the islands of sunken Atlantis. Could this mean that by venturing into our own subconscious or own inner underworld, we reclaim the lost knowledge of Atlantis? That the keys to higher knowledge are hidden not in distant ruins, but within ourselves? This perhaps is the most profound idea of all, that the Emerald Tablets are not merely texts to be read, but maps to be activated. Each word, a frequency, each symbol, a key. They were never meant to be understood by the intellect alone, but felt, experienced, and lived. And so we continue, deeper still as the meanings begin to unfold. As we descend deeper into the Emerald Tablets, the message becomes more paradoxical, more multi-dimensional-like, a dream wrapped in metaphor, a language of light cloaked in ancient code. One of the most intriguing recurring themes is immortality. Thoth writes, "Man is a flame bound to a mountain, but the flame endures, while the mountain crumbles to dust." Here, the body is the mountain dense, aging, impermanent, but the flame, that is consciousness, the indestructible soul. Thoth claims he has conquered death, not metaphorically, but literally by mastering vibration, aligning with cosmic law, and traveling freely through dimensions. In the tablets, he claims, death is only the barrier of illusion, and the gateway lies in the light. This light is not sunlight, it is the source field, the unifying intelligence behind all creation. The same light referenced in mystical traditions from the Egyptian Ba to the Tibetan clear light. The same light near-death experiencers describe seeing at the threshold of the beyond. To walk into that light, conscious without dying, requires transfiguration, a process Thoth calls becoming the sun of the morning, a symbol of rebirth, of rising in awareness beyond the cycles of reincarnation. But Thoth also warns, this path is not for the careless. He speaks often of balance, the sacred equilibrium between polarities light and shadow, masculine and feminine, material and spiritual. Just as the alchemist seeks to harmonize mercury and sulfur, the initiate must unite will and wisdom, intellect and intuition. This is echoed in the structure of the tablets themselves. Every truth is mirrored by a warning, every revelation by a riddle. Use not the knowledge for greed or power, for the dark shall consume those who misuse the flame. Here lies one of the deepest truths. The same force that frees can also enslave. The Emerald Tablets are a spiritual technology. Yes, but like all technology, its impact depends on the intention of the user. The knowledge they contain can liberate the Sulor, inflate the ego. It can birth sages or tyrants. This dual nature is perhaps why the teachings were hidden, encoded, passed down through secret orders rather than public institutions. Why only those with a pure heart could access the inner chambers of Amenti. It's worth noting that several ancient schools, particularly the Hermetic, Gnostic, and Egyptian mystery tradition emphasize the necessity of initiation. One must be prepared mentally, emotionally, spiritual before receiving higher truths. Otherwise, the mind will distort them, turning wisdom into weaponry, or dismissing what it cannot comprehend. And yet, Thoth gives hope. He teaches that every human being carries a spark of this wisdom already within, that the path to remembering it is not in acquiring more, but in uncovering what's already there. Look within, O man, and thou shalt find the secrets of the stars. And here, the tablets echo a truth found across all great mystical traditions, that the universe is not outside Ute, is you. The stars, the cycles, the elements, they are reflected in the architecture of your own being. You are the alchemical vessel, the magician, the flame, and the path to awakening is not to ascend into the heavens, but to descend into the self and transmute. Even the concept of Atlantis, often regarded as literal, can be understood as symbolic. Perhaps Atlantis is not merely a lost continent, but a metaphor for a forgotten state of consciousness, a golden age of harmony with cosmic law, now submerged beneath the ocean of forgetfulness. The tablets speak of Atlantis's fall as the result of pride, ego, and misuse of power, warning that history, if unheeded, will repeat itself. In that sense, the Emerald Tablets are not ancient relics. They are timeless messages, encoded across dimensions, calling out to anyone ready to remember. And now that you've heard their whisper, the question remains, what will you do with what you've remembered? Mystical teachings mean nothing if they stay locked in books, floating in theory, or confined to the whispers of initiates. Thoth was not just a recorder of wisdom, he was a guide for transformation, and the Emerald Tablets, though cloaked in ancient metaphors, offer practical tools to awaken the dormant light within. Let's start with vibration. One of the core teachings is that everything is frequency thought, emotion, even your physical body. Thoth repeatedly emphasizes the power of rising in vibration, suggesting that the first step to unlocking hidden knowledge is learning to tune yourself like an instrument. Try this. Each morning, before you speak, touch your phone, or even get out of bed, sit in silence for 3 minutes. Focus on your breath. Visualize a golden light moving up your spine with each inhale and spreading through your body with each exhale. This isn't just relaxation, it's alignment. Over time, this begins to stabilize your energy field, creating the inner stillness needed to receive higher insights, what Thoth calls the light of wisdom that shines from within. Next is conscious speech. The tablets speak of the power of the spoken word, likening it to a creative force zone that can heal or destroy, bless or bind. Thoth writes, "Words carry power. Words shape the world. Speak only that which builds the light. Pay attention to your words. Are you speaking from fear, scarcity, or anger? Or are you speaking life into your reality? Even casual self-judgments, I can't, I'm not enough, I'll never, are subtle spells cast against your own becoming. Reclaim your voice. Make your speech sacred." Another key practice is awareness of cycles. The Emerald Tablets are filled with references to cosmic rhythms, the movement of stars, the precession of time, and the rise and fall of civilizations. But these are not just global, they're personal. Notice your own inner cycles. When are you most clear? When are you most heavy? Begin tracking these rhythms daily, weekly, seasonally. Aligning your actions with your own natural flow brings you back into harmony with the greater cosmic pattern. And then, there's the teaching of descent and return. Thoth speaks of venturing into the halls of Amenti, the underworld, to retrieve wisdom and emerge transformed. Practically, this is the art of shadow work, facing your fears, your trauma, your hidden patterns, not to destroy them, but to alchemize them. When something triggers you, instead of reacting, pause, ask, what part of me is asking to be seen? This simple shift in attention transforms pain into portal. You are doing the work of the initiate. And finally, Thoth teaches of service. The path is not meant to isolate you in superiority. In fact, the more awakened one becomes, the more compassionate, grounded, and clear they should be. Use your awakening not just to elevate yourself, but to become a source of light in your family, your community, and your world. Even a kind word, a calm presence, or a listening ear can shift the energy of an entire room. And often, that's the most powerful alchemy of all. The Emerald Tablets do not ask for worship, they ask for embodiment. They ask, what if you remembered that you are divine? What would you do differently? The answer is your initiation. The Emerald Tablets are not just relics of a forgotten world. They are living transmissions, timeless and multidimensional. They speak in riddles because they are meant to awaken, not inform. They don't just give you answers, they change the questions you ask. We've uncovered the essence of Thoth's message, that you are more than flesh, and thought you are vibration, light, eternal intelligence wearing a temporary form, that death is an illusion, and memory of your divine nature can be reclaimed, that within you lies the same flame Thoth guarded through eons, patiently waiting for you to turn inward and remember. In every age, there are those who feel the faint signal behind the noise of modern life. If you're watching this, perhaps you've already felt it, the strange familiarity of this knowledge, the sense that you've heard it before, maybe in a dream, maybe in another lifetime. That's not imagination. That's recognition. The Emerald Tablets call out to the awakened, not the asleep. And now that you've heard them, even in part, the question lingers, what will you do with this flame? Will you bury it again beneath the noise of the world? Or will you begin to walk the path of light to embody, to live, to remember? You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to become a master overnight. But every moment you choose presence over reaction, stillness over distraction, love over fear, you align with the ancient current Thoth spoke of. This is not the end. It's a doorway. Because once you've glimpsed the truth behind the illusion, you can never truly go back. The tablets are whispering again. And now, you understand. If this awakens something in, you share it, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for deeper dives into the hidden teachings the world forgot. Your journey has only just begun.